Hello. Okay, so we're gonna drive around and talk, and today I want to talk to you about accessories. And why I want to talk to you about this is because I have accessories that I sell on my live sales, and I'm going to start selling accessories on my website. But what I wanted to talk about is how I choose the accessories. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what synthetic wig accessories I think are best for synthetic fibers and which ones I think are not and why. So if you are interested in that, then we are going to talk about it right now. Okay. I will try to include some clips of what I'm talking about, an example, so you can see exactly what I mean. Some of the things that I look for when I'm purchasing different accessories to be sold is, one, are they beneficial to the synthetic wig wearer? And I say that because I primarily sell synthetic, although I'm a retailer for many brands and they do have human hair options. I am a synthetic wig coach and wearer and have been for many years, so I would say I know a lot more about synthetic than I do human hair. I don't personally wear human hair, and so anytime I'm doing anything, I'm really speaking about synthetic specifically, unless I say otherwise. One thing that I like is, let's talk about like clips and things. So like, for instance, the clip that I'm wearing now, there are bendable hair clips that I really like. This is a bendable hair clip. And one of the things I look for in a bendable hair clip or a bendable barrette is that it needs to be large enough to be able to fit over the fibers. So it's not like it's holding just like your regular human hair. It does need to be large enough so that it's not just going to pop off and fall out. The other thing overall in every accessory that I'm looking for is it unique? Is it special? Is it a little bit different? Is it going to bring something to your wig that is going to like take it up a notch? That's just for me personally. So there are just some like fashion type things that I look for, or style type things, and then there's function type things. The other thing that I like is for the clips, okay? And so they're sort of like, you can call them alligator clips. And the nice thing about that is not only will they hold nicely on synthetic fibers and they won't slip off or whatever, those type of clips you can also use for an extra layer of security. So you can put them up under your wig cap to not only hold whatever style you have in place, but also to help an additional layer of security for your wig and keeping it on. And so I love those particular type of accessories for that reason. The other type of accessory that I like is the sort of claw clips, and I prefer one of two options. I don't just pick up any type of claw clip for my synthetic wigs, just because, again, the claw clip is going to be holding the synthetic hairs and things like that. So I prefer lightweight metal, so I want it to be quality. You know, you can get clips anywhere. You can get clips at the dollar store or whatever. But for me, especially with synthetic wigs, I want it to feel nice, feel weighty, you know, have a quality to it that is nice. So when I'm choosing like a metal clip, for instance, no matter it's metal or plastic, I'm always squeezing it to make sure that the hinges are nice, that the areas surrounding the hinges aren't weak. If you know you get a claw clip, you love it, you open it once and it's like clink and it breaks. Like I hate that. If I go with a plastic claw clip, it really does have to be the heavy duty plastic, sort of that resin type plastic. I do not like just like flimsy plastic clips. You can use anything you want, but I don't prefer to sell those. So when I'm getting clips, and even when I'm ordering, like say that I'm ordering them from a wholesaler or whatever, a lot of times I'll get clips and I'll get them in and be like, no, this just isn't good enough. And so I don't sell them like on my store. So I really make sure that they're high quality, because, you know, we're using our wigs and we want things that are going to last. And the other thing is we want things that are going to hold the hair so it can't slip out. You know, there's just those types of features that I really think are important. The other thing with the claw clips is, though I do like and prefer metal, they also can't be then too heavy, because you're already wearing your wig. I'm a migraine sufferer, so I tend to get migraines in general just wearing wigs. And so I need to make sure that my accessories feel weighty in that they are high quality and give you, you know, a sense of like luxury or beauty, but also it can't be too heavy where then it's causing you issues or falling out or what have you. So there is like sort of that balance there. The next accessory I like are regular headbands. The headbands just go over your head. And for those types of headbands, I'm looking for similar things as I'm looking for in terms of the claw clips. I do prefer metal, and if it's going to be plastic, it does have to be a nice weighted plastic. And I like the headbands to be a little bit thicker because I feel like, you know, with synthetic wigs, sometimes that's a little bit better. And if it's thinner, I want it to have some sort of decoration or what have you. But then I also need to consider that whether it's with a headband, it's going to be going into the wig a little bit more than like a clip where it's going to sit on top. And so I need to make sure that it's like rhinestone embellishments, that the rhinestones almost maybe stop right about here and then it's just metal, because that's what's going to go down into the hair, because the synthetic fibers going over the top of like these rhinestones or any type of embellishment can pull the fibers and catch and do those sort of things. So I am considering that when I'm like choosing headbands. If it's a fabric covered headband, which is really cute and really popular, it needs to make sure like that fabric comes all the way around to the edges, that it's not lifting, that it's not going to easily you know, pull off. Like those are just small details. If it's a padded headband and then it has either fabric or like maybe velvet over top, is it fully covered? What are the ends like? You know, you're putting the end into your synthetic fibers. So I don't like the rough raw edges. So I'm looking for those when I'm picking like just a regular headband. Then I also want to like kind of pull on the headband to see, because it's going to accommodate your head if you have hair under your head and your wig. So sometimes the headband needs to be a little bit bigger than it would if you were just wearing it with your bio hair, but also to a point where, yeah, maybe it's bigger, but then is it too flimsy where it's actually not going to stay on? So I do consider all those things when I am picking like a regular headband. The next type of accessory that I look for is the headbands that are going to go either, you know, like down and around and pull up, or go on the outside. And with those headbands, I'm extremely picky for a lot of reasons. First of all, I know some of the people that are buying my wigs may have some head sensitivities because of treatments and things like that. So the one thing is that the headband needs to be soft. It really does need to be soft to the touch. And again, these are just all my opinions and what I am particularly looking for whenever I am getting accessories. The other thing is that there needs to be a nice stretch to it, because, you know, each one of my clients' heads, you know, is a different size, plus it needs to go over the wig, and you know, it does need to have a nice stretch, but it does also need to be feeling a little secure, because I feel like with wearing the headband, it can give a level of security. If it's too tight and it's starting to pull, it could like pull the whole thing off, like your wig and everything. So I do keep that in mind with the headbands. The other thing along with the soft is that the fabric cannot feel like super cheap. I mean, if you want a cheap headband, you can go on Amazon, whatever, and get them. You know, you're investing in your wigs, and I feel like you should invest in your accessories. Ones that I find, I really need them to be feeling nice and feeling high quality. I love the Renee of Paris, the Christine Headwear cheetah headband. I love those. Those are a little bit thicker. The other thing is, like, I have people using headbands when they're wearing like half wigs, or something to that effect. Sometimes they need a wider headband because you know, you want to cover like the line of demarcation, and so that's really important. So although it doesn't have to be super wide, I really don't want a headband that's too thin in terms of the width. So that's something that I always consider when I'm looking at those types of headbands. The next thing is that I really am interested in the colors and the patterns and the options. Because, you know, especially if you're wearing the same wig, like as a daily wear wig, you know, you want to be able to like match it. The whole thing is just like, if you're going to wear wigs, whether it's for fashion or because you need to for medical, you want to have fun with it. So I want colors and patterns that are going to reflect, you know, the time of year, the holiday, be able to match what you're wearing, like any, you know, just like what you would do with your bio hair. And so I always consider that as well. And the next type of scrunchies, you know, scrunchies are back, but in general, I think with synthetic wigs, scrunchies are really important, especially if they're the proper fabric, because when you're using just like a regular hair tie, it can sort of pull on the synthetic fibers. It can pull them out. Like, you know, you just want to make sure that you do as much as you can to protect those synthetic fibers in the wig. So the scrunchies that I like the most are the velvet ones that are like the soft jersey, and they need to be big enough that they're going to hold the synthetic fibers, but they need to be tight enough that they're not going to slip off. So I always consider that when I am choosing those types of things. The next type of accessory is actually the synthetic hair accessory. So maybe it's a scrunchie, but it's used synthetic fiber to mimic hair. And these are really important because, especially if you're not used to styling, they can make your synthetic wig look like you just went to the salon for a jillion hours just by adding this synthetic hair accessory. It can, you know, dial your stuff up a bit. It can be really fun, like if it's maybe a colorful extension that you just clip in, so you use your regular synthetic wig, and then you can just like maybe have fun for a few days without, like, you know, messing up the wig or what have you. So those are also accessories. I like the hairdo, Pop by Hairdo a lot. They have some fun things that are going on. I do retail for them and I sell those. You know, I do like clip-in hair extensions. That's another synthetic wig accessory that I think a lot of people don't really think about when they are thinking about putting on accessories, is that you can add in extensions, like, and you know how you have the line of extensions, you can add those in to either like play with color. So I have like rainbow ones that you can put in, so it would be like a peekaboo color, or maybe you need to add some bulk. Maybe the wig is just a little too thin for you. You can add extensions in to add hair as well. And the last thing is hats. And so for hats, what I look for is, especially like, so I sell a lot of knit hats, and the thing, especially with like a winter knit hat, it needs to be, again, needs to feel nice and high quality. There needs to be a stretch to it because it does need to fit over your head and a wig. But it also needs to be thinner than a normal hat that you would wear over your head. You know, we do lose a lot of heat on our heads, but we're already wearing a wig. And then to put a knit hat over top of that, it can make it so it's like too hot and too thick for people. So I do consider that when I am considering like knit hats and things like that. And if it's like a ball cap, I need to make sure it's an adjustable ball cap. It can't be like a fitted cap, just because, again, everybody has different size heads, and then you have the wig on top of that. And so the adjustable caps are the best. I personally like adjustable caps that have the like the adjusters where it can like go into the actual hat and be sort of masked. But you know, a regular sort of snapback hat that's adjustable works just as well. So let's quickly talk about some of the accessories that I would avoid. I know a lot of my people have bio hair and they want to use these accessories, but when I'm talking about specifically for synthetic wigs, I try to avoid the regular hairpins because I do think that they like pull on the hair, and I don't really like that at all. So I do kind of avoid those. I do sell some sometimes, but I don't really suggest personally that use them with synthetic wigs, but you can, you know, do whatever you want, obviously. The next thing are the hair ties that are meant to be like the ouchless for your actual hair. I find that they actually get caught in synthetic fibers, so I try to avoid those as well. And then with the sort of metal claw clips, I try to avoid metal or plastic that have too much of like a, you know, sharp edge on it, because I think that it can poke through the cap, and it can cause issues with that. So I do try to avoid those. I also try to avoid these bendy barrettes that are too small, because I feel like they just end up popping off and then it's just a big pain in the runker. So yeah, those are a couple of the ones that I actually try to avoid. Put down below if there's any synthetic hair accessories that you find work really well with synthetic hair, or ones that you find like really you try to avoid, and for what reason. Let's share that down below. Yeah, I think that's really it in terms of accessories and how I choose the accessories that I have on my live sales and that I sell in my business. Those are the ones that I look for. Those are the reasons I look for them, and sort of the things I want and don't want. So that's what I have for you. If you enjoyed this type of video, please give it a thumbs up, give it a little share to someone who might be interested. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Check the description box. I have links to all of the different things that I've talked about in this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.